morning. Welcome to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ, 750 AM, 312-255-8408. Father Greg Sack was the rector of a cathedral. Today is a special edition of Catholic Schools Today on Catholic Chicago. And we are live streaming, first time ever, we are live streaming Catholic Schools Today. A blessed Columbus Day, Indigenous Day, 312-255-8408. Michael, do we have Dr. Jim Rigg on the phone yet? We're really waiting for our co-host. I haven't had enough coffee this morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, I think we'll begin our first segment here. We have the teachers at St. Damian's School in Oak Forest are coming up with creative ways to engage your students during the current pandemic. During music classes, students are learning to American Sign Language, ASL, to sing the songs. In celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, the school held a whole day of creative activities. The day began with a virtual prayer service, visual art activities, learning a few dances outside, watching a dance performance, and even had a Mexican food for lunch. Our guest via the phone, it's hard to get guests in the studio during the pandemic. We have Jennifer Miller, the principal of St. Damian's School in Oak Forest. We have Lynn Kingsbury, music teacher, who's a music teacher, choir director, Gail Wurr, Spanish teacher, and Joshua, an 8th grade student at St. Damian School in Oak Forest. Are you all with us this morning? Yes. Good morning. So we have then Jennifer Miller, the principal, Lynn Kingsbury, the music teacher, choir director, Gail Wurr, Spanish teacher. Are you there, Joshua? Our 8th grader, Joshua. Joshua, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good,
Hello.
good. You are in 8th grade, correct?
Yes.
Well, listen, maybe we'll begin with Jennifer Miller. So tell us about this, all that's going on during the pandemic. First of all, it must have been quite an ordeal to begin class last month in light of the pandemic. Am I right, Jennifer?
You know what? No.
Geez, I'm glad to hear that.
You know what? Lots of effort, lots of engagement. Our faculty and staff were just so incredibly thankful that we were going to be able to sit face-to-face with our students. And I am not kidding you when I tell you, and Mrs. Kingsbury, Mrs. Wurr can probably really just reiterate this for me. When those students walked through the building and we hadn't seen them since March 13th, we had tears in our eyes. We were just so excited to be face-to-face and to teach them again. So, yes, lots of work, lots of effort, lots of time, lots of creativity. But you know what? They are in front of us, and we are not going to trade that in for anything.
No, which means at St. Damian School, it is all in classroom learning, correct?
We are. We do have about 42 remote learners this year, just because for different reasons they chose to stay home. But we did some training this summer, and we're doing some synchronous learning. So while our teachers are teaching our students face-to-face, those students are dialing into our classrooms and hopefully not missing a beat.
I think we finally have on the phone Dr. Jim Rigg, Superintendent of Catholic Schools, the Archdiocese of Chicago. Dr. Jim Rigg, are you with us?
I sure am. Your co-host socially distancing here, calling in via phone. Sorry about the technical issues. I regret that I wasn't with you at the beginning of the show, but very happy to be here and very happy to listen to all of the great things happening at St. Damian.
I think and normally I spend the first couple of minutes with Dr. Jim Rigg was happening. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And we thought we had lost you there, Jim. And first of all, a little sidebar.
I don't know what happened. My phone was not ringing when allegedly
Michael.
People were calling me. There's been a few times over the last 6 months where cell phone bandwidth has been overloaded in the region and people have had a hard time reaching each other. This is what happens when a lot of people are working remotely.
Exactly. And also you are part of history, not only for Dr. Jim Rigg, but the grouping from St. Damian. Our first time ever, we are live streaming Catholic Schools Today here on WNDZ, the first ever. So it's a momentous day for all. First of all, a little sidebar, Jim. I'm just drawing a blank. How are the Denver Broncos doing? Are they, 2-2 right now? I'm drawing a blank.
They're not doing terrifically well.
Yeah, they're having.
I believe they're 1-3.
Yeah, 1-3, and at 2-4.
Yep.
But listen, I'll let you.
Chicago Bears so far. Well, an okay year.
Well, yeah, the Bears are the luckiest 4-1 team I ever met. in terms of. But I'll tell you, a win is a win is a win. I'll let you ask
Yep.
the next couple of questions there, Dr. Jim Rigg.
Take what you can get. No, it was great to be able to open up the Chicago Tribune this morning and see a wonderful story about St. Damian's School and the teaching of music. And it sounded like when I joined, Jennifer, you were talking a little bit about in-person learning, and we're so proud of what's happened in our Catholic schools through the hard work of our teachers and principals and staff members that we've been able to welcome our students back for now about 2 months of in-person learning. But I'm particularly interested in the teaching of music. So we said in our styles and health and safety protocols that we didn't want people singing because there is some medical research that indicates that singing can be a health risk. And I know that you've done some very creative things at St. Damian with your music classes around singing. So I don't know if Lynn Kinsbury is on or not. If not, maybe
Yes, she
Jennifer,
is.
you could talk to us. Great. Talk to us a little bit about your music class and how you're using American Sign Language.
Go
Okay,
for it,
great.
Lynn.
All right, thank you, and thank you so much, Mr. Rigg, for having us on. It was kind of shocking to learn that we couldn't sing because I am a music teacher, and I would say 75% of my program revolves around singing and putting on performances, and we do a really big spring musical, and I even sing with the little guys. We have a choral concert in February. So we love to sing at St. Damian. And I was thinking, well, what am I going to do here? I want to have the students experience music. You know, we do study classical musicians, and I play classical music for them to hear that, and I know that moves their hearts and souls. So I wanted to do that, and I couldn't think of what I could do. And then all of a sudden I thought, well, I know, American Sign Language. We can sign the lyrics. Instead of singing them, we'll sign the lyrics, and then they can still experience the music behind the lyrics. So that's what we're doing, and it has been a huge hit. The kids like it. Actually, they love it, and they're like sponges. And I'm teaching actually PK 3 and 4-year-olds, all the way up kindergarten through 8th graders.
Now, Lynn, do you have a background in sign language?
I do. I have 3 deaf aunts, and one I'm particularly close to. My Aunt Jean Hauser. She would visit. I'm from Wisconsin, California, moved to Indiana, and she would come visit us when I lived in Wisconsin, and also when I lived in California. And when I would play the piano, she would put her hand on the piano because I always wondered, how is she going to hear the music? And she'd say, she'd signal to me saying, oh, no. She put her hand on the piano and she could feel the vibration. And that just kind of struck me like, wow, she can at least experience the music this way. So my Aunt Jean and I would sign together, and, she ended up being the first deaf pilot in Wisconsin, and she's on the Wisconsin Aviators Hall of Fame. So she's quite a remarkable woman, and she actually was a very big inspiration to me. So I decided to
That is amazing.
She's really quite amazing, and she's
So it really
still
came out
alive.
of your experience with your aunts who were deaf, and so you learned sign language. And now, Gail, you are the Spanish teacher, so how do you connect with this whole music ministry at St. Damian's?
Well, yes, thank you very much for having us on. In Spanish, actually, what we have done, we have really built up our language program, and having this being the month of Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrated, we taught the students. They were all engaged in different activities during this Hispanic Heritage Month. We taught them the salsa. We made maracas. We've had prayer services. We've taught about the different countries, music, just built up the importance of us paying tribute to the many contributions that Hispanic Americans have made to our country. And I feel that that's important for our students to learn, not just the language of Spanish, but the recognition and the contributions that have been made by by many, many people.
We need to go to a break here on Catholic Chicago, special edition of Catholic Schools Today. Joshua, after the break, I'm going to ask you a question. It's not pass or fail, so you'll do fine. WNDZ 750 AM, 312-255-8408. Father Greg Sakowicz and Dr. Jim Riggs. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. And again, do not touch that dial.
Throughout our nation and our world, people of all faiths have recently been joining fervently in all kinds of prayer. They have found that coming together in prayer is a source of comfort and strength. In this spirit of unity, the Archdiocese of Chicago has introduced a call to prayer, a telephone line dedicated to prayer. If you would like to join with another person in prayer, call 312-741-3388. This line is staffed from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily with parishioners from across the Archdiocese of Chicago. These volunteers are here to listen to you, offer support, and pray with you. A call to prayer includes a 24-hour voicemail and email options as well. Experience this wonderful opportunity to join with people just like you who trust in the power of prayer. That phone number again is 312-741-3388. Let's pray together today.
You're invited to Keep Hope Alive 2020, the online benefit and celebration of the Archdiocese of Chicago's Immigration Ministry and their nationwide program, Pastoral Migratoria. Join us virtually on the evening of Thursday, October 29th, for a night filled with music, camaraderie, and inspiring speakers. Cardinal Blaise Supich and Sister Norma Pimentel of Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, who was recently recognized as one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people, will be joining us to help keep hope alive. Now, more than ever, the immigrant community, both here in the Archdiocese of Chicago and across the United States, needs the leadership formation and accompaniment that Pastoral Migratoria provides. Registration is free, and sponsorship and advertising opportunities are available. Visit www.keephopealive2020.org for more information and to register. Again, that's www.keephopealive2020.org.
When you think of the word neighbor, warm and friendly thoughts come to mind. Think of smiles across the yard, positive wishes, and looking out for one another on an ongoing basis. Catholic Charities' Neighbors in Need Fund inspires all of these and much more. We've seen an unprecedented number of requests for assistance this year from people who have never needed help before. When you make your gift to the Neighbors in Need Fund, you are igniting hope in the lives of your most vulnerable neighbors, especially individuals and families who continue to struggle to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads. Your gift will give them the resources they need to overcome the unexpected, very serious circumstances in which they find themselves now. Give online at CatholicCharities.net or call 312-948-6087. That's 312-948-6087. Catholic Charities Neighbors in Need Fund. Thank you for helping build a world of kindness, one neighbor to another.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM, 312-255-8408. But today's special edition of Catholic Schools Today, Father Greg Sakowicz, Dr. Jim Rigg, and we have four wonderful guests from St. Damian's School in Oak Forest. We have Jennifer Miller, the principal, Lynn Kingsbury, the music director, teacher, choir director, Gail Wurr, the Spanish teacher, and 8th grader Joshua. Joshua, are you still there with us?
Yes, I am.
Now, why were you chosen to be on the radio today with these wonderful leaders you have in the school? Do you have the best singing voice in the whole school?
Well, not quite. Only one day at recess, Mrs. Kingsbury came up to me, and she asked me if I'd like to come on just to kind of talk about and explain our new ASL program.
Why don't you maybe explain the ASL program then, since you were asked? What's your version of the program?
Yeah, so I thought it was a really creative way to fix the no singing. I have always been interested in learning ASL, so I really like it. And it's kind of it's also fun just because you get that whole full body experience with it, because obviously you're moving you still do facial expressions even though your mask is on your face. You can still see it in their eyes, and it's kind of just a really fun, awesome way to get to be able to do music class without the singing.
Well, let me ask you this. You said you've always had an interest in sign language. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I feel when I was younger, I feel
Well, tell
like...
me, wait. Are you in 8th grade?
Yes, I am.
When you were younger?
Yeah, when I was like maybe...
Joshua.
Father,
Joshua.
everybody's younger compared to you.
Yeah, but Joshua, I have sweaters older than you. Keep going, Joshua.
Yeah, I feel like
Thanks,
maybe
Dr. Rigg.
I was maybe around like 9, I'm guessing. And when I first discovered sign language, I thought that it was amazing how, although the deaf community, they can't talk because they're not able to hear what the other people are saying. So I found like it was amazing how they were able to come up with the ASL to be able to still communicate with each other just like normal.
That's marvelous. You are a very articulate young man. Dr. Rigg, a couple of questions for the faculty.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Joshua, it's great to hear from you, and it's nice to learn about your enthusiasm for ASL. I have been amazed at all of the creative ways that our Catholic school teachers have responded during this very unusual school year. Back to you, Lynn Kingsbury, talking about this ASL approach to music and choir. Joshua's obviously an older student. It sounds like he was interested even before this happened. How are things going with the very young children? You know, your preschool, your kinder, your first graders. Are they also catching on to American Sign Language in your class?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, there's not a big difference, believe it or not, from the younger kids to the older kids. These younger kids catch on so quickly. I'm teaching them their names, popular words, family signs. The younger kids we are signing with my little 3- and 4-year-olds, we're signing "No More Monkeys Jumping on the Bed." So we're doing that popular song. And then with the kindergartners to the 4th graders, we're signing "Jesus Loves Me." And then with the 5th through 8th graders, we're signing the Hail Mary. And it's just such a beautiful prayer to sign. So, I would say the whole school actually is signing, and they're catching on so quickly. They want to learn. They tell me, oh, how do you say this word? How do you say this word? They love the family words, mom and dad, sister, brother. And then we're starting to talk as well, having different conversations. Right, Josh? We've been doing that in some of the older kids' classes.
I think that's just marvelous. Now, let me ask you this, Jennifer Miller, the principal. Did somebody approach you with this whole idea going back a couple of months ago? Was this your idea? Was this Lynn's idea or Gail's idea?
No, this was all Mrs. Kingsbury and Mrs. Werr. And actually, something quite amusing when I, received my directives from the state directives and from IDPH, and then directly from the Archdiocese of Chicago, I told Mrs. Kingsbury, we're going to get creative this year. And I'm a big fine arts person. I was a theater teacher when I was in the classroom, so I have a passion for the arts. And Lynn said, well, we're going to have to figure this out. I have to sing. We can't not sing. And she actually even went to my regional director and asked him directly. And I said, Lynn, we can't do this. We have to be creative. So a few days later, she comes to me and she says, can we teach the children to sing in sign? I've come up with it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's absolutely amazing and wonderful. And so it was all Mrs. Kingsbury. And then Mrs. Werr, on the flip side, has always done, a big cultural heritage fair where the children bake their own food and they bring it in and they share their cultures during this time as well. So she says, what can I do? So she came up with a cooking show, and the kids are submitting their recipes, and you can even see Cooking with Mrs. Ware on the internet. And then when we took Hispanic Heritage Month, and she always does something big with that, we thought, well, what can we do? We're really big about working across the curriculum. So while Mrs. Ware was teaching Spanish dances and the background behind that, Mrs. Kingsbury was actually teaching the children the salsa and the Macarena.
That is marvelous.
We've just really come together and we've embraced it. I think it's like I said earlier, we are just so excited to be face-to-face with our students that we are really doing everything we can. And we're creative. Teachers across the country are creative.
And very cool. We need to go to break here on Catholic Chicago on Catholic Schools Today. You're listening on WNDZ 750 AM and our phone number 312-255-8408. And Joshua, when it comes to that cooking, maybe you could make some chocolate chip cookies for a little baking there. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. And again, do not touch that dial.
For more than 20 years, Catholic Charities Adult Protective Services has been advocating for seniors who are the victims of abuse, neglect, and/or financial exploitation. We work with local city and state agencies in a cooperative way to ensure that every concern brought to our attention is handled and that our seniors are safe and protected. If you are concerned about a senior you know, call 866-800-1409. That's 866-800-1409. According to a report published by the Illinois Department on Aging, there are over 21 cases of elder abuse reported in Illinois last year. In these unprecedented times, we need to look out for each other, including all the seniors in our lives. Thank you.
Have you checked out Chicago Catholic lately? Either in print or online, Chicago Catholic has informative and stimulating content, including news from the Archdiocese, beautiful photographs, and a thoughtful column by our publisher, Cardinal Blaise Cupich. Editor Joyce DeRiga tells us about our current edition of Chicago Catholic.
We have an overview of Pope Francis's new encyclical on fraternity and social friendship. Cardinal Cupich's column is also dedicated to it. The Archdiocese is urging everyone to get a flu shot this year. We share the details of the campaign, and we have coverage of the recent ordination of permanent deacons.
Subscribe now. Go to chicagocatholic.com or call 312-534-7777. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Chicago Catholic, a fresh approach to Catholic news.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago for today's special edition of Catholic Schools Today on WNDZ 750, 312-255-8408. Father Greg Sakowicz and Dr. Jim Rigg. You can take it away for the next question, maybe for Joshua.
Happy to. So it's been great to hear about all of the wonderful things happening at St. Damian School. I've had the great privilege of visiting St. Damian several times, as well as being there when Gail you won the Heart of the School Award not too long ago.
I did.
So that's great to hear.
Congratulations.
Let me ask just Josh real quick. So, at the front end of the show, we were talking a little bit about just general, kind of how the school has responded to COVID with the masks and the distancing and all of the other health and safety requirements that are necessarily in place this year. And, Josh, I'd be curious about your perspective as a student there. How do you think things are going, and how are things both different and the same this year as a student at St. Damian School?
Well, personally, I like it. I was super pumped when they said that we were able to go back into school. I feel like it's the full experience. When you're looking at a computer screen for all your classes, it's just not the same. I mean, you really get to know it and feel it when you're in the building. And plus, then you're right there with all your friends and all the staff, and I feel like it just gets to you better. And even with the masks, I know that that's a big concern. I feel that all of us have already gotten used to it. We have to wear them out in public all the time, and so school, it's not really any different from that. But, yeah.
And what did your parents think about you going back to school?
I think that they were both pretty glad. They weren't really too concerned with it. I mean, the e-learning program, it's still good because you're still getting all of your classes and whatever. Only I think that they both also like the in-school, fully getting it to you with the staff and the kids there.
Now, maybe moving forward in the next couple of months, what's on the docket, Jennifer?
what's on the docket.
In terms of anything, you'll just continue doing what you're doing now, but anything you plan to do differently? Anything, you had so many new creative ideas. Anything more coming up?
Well, our fifth graders do a Christmas pageant for us every year, so we have pretty much figured that one out. Mrs. Kingsbury is going to teach them the songs in sign language, and we're going to be doing some live streaming of that. We are very lucky. You know what? We're taking advantage of the live streaming, and we've really thought outside the box. Like on Wednesday, we have an actor coming in who happens to be, he's an LA actor, so he's going to come in and he's going to Zoom with some of our kids. Our fifth graders had a representative from Microsoft come in and Zoom with them and ask their questions. So we're really doing everything we can. We're taking this opportunity to just continue to be creative and research different ways on bringing education to the children so they fully understand it. I am amazed at the work that our teachers are doing, and as I look across at other schools, that all of their teachers are doing. And I'm just, when I talk, I have a lot of principal friends in the Archdiocese, and we're sharing ideas across the board. So what we're doing, another school might find very interesting, and they're doing, and we're sharing a lot of those thoughts. Like for example, just another school said, well, we're going to have beach towels. All the kids are going to bring beach towels, and we're going to have beach days. So I said, that's wonderful. So we take the kids outside 6 feet apart on beach towels. So we're sharing ideas. A lot of great things are happening in our schools.
These are very difficult days, but you have found very creative ways for the faculty, for the children. And I like the idea that you share ideas with other schools because, it's somehow it's learning from each other. You see what works, what doesn't work. But so in spite of COVID-19 and all that's happening, you find ways to make it exciting. And I listened to 8th grader Joshua. Joshua, you seem to be enthused about all that is happening, and you and your classmates in the school have embraced this creativity. And that in itself is a learning experience because we're learning in very difficult days, but somehow with the grace of God, we'll get through this. One question maybe we have left you can ask Dr. Jim Rigg.
Well, we are entering the season where new families are looking for Catholic schools. And so I'd love, Jennifer, maybe if you could just take a minute, and if any of our listeners are interested in a great Catholic elementary school, I'd encourage them to check out St. Damien. You can also look at our website, schools.archchicago.org, and look at a finder map of all of the Catholic schools throughout Greater Chicago. But Jennifer, maybe if you could just share with us the website and the phone number of St. Damien in case people want to check the school out.
Absolutely. We're at 708-687-4230.
That number once again, Jennifer?
708-687-4230. And our website is really easy, www.stdamianschool.org. So we're stdamianschool.org. We're very active on social media as well. We're at St. Damien School and Preschool Academy is our Facebook page. And our Twitter handle is St. Damien Lancers, because once a Lancer, always a Lancer.
On that note, we will end. I like that very much. I want to thank in a very special way Jennifer Miller, the principal of St. Damien School in Oak Forest, along with Lynn Kingsbury, the music teacher, choir director, Gail Ward, the Spanish teacher, and 8th grader Joshua. Thank you for joining us here today on Catholic Schools Today. I'm Father Greg Sackwitz, along with Dr. Jim Rigg. What you got going down there sounds so tremendous. Keep up the great work. Our prayers are with you. We are live streaming here today on Catholic Schools Today. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. And again, do not touch that dial.
Thank you.
Catholic Charities After Supper Visions program offers guests of our Tuesday night supper the opportunity to learn the art of photography. These talented guests, who are often experiencing homelessness, are offered disposable digital cameras, and they work with volunteer professional photographers to learn the basics of taking photos. Then the artists go out and capture images on film of anything they find to be beautiful or interesting in the world. Their photos are amazing. Visit AfterSupperVisions.com to learn more about the artists and their artwork. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn too. At After Supper Visions, we are developing film, talent, and hope. It has been inspiring to see how individuals, families, and communities have found ways to help one another throughout 2020. At Catholic Charities, we usually have 35 to 40 events a year where we gather and enjoy time together in support of important programs and services, while raising critical funds that allow us to respond to the growing number of people who are in need of the most basic necessities in life. Many of our events are now virtual. If you would like to be a sponsor for one of these events, please call 312-948-6864. That's 312-948-6864. Also, visit us at CatholicCharities.net/events and follow us on social media too. We so look forward to when we can resume our events in person and reconnect with our friends and partners throughout Chicagoland. For now, please consider donating to Catholic Charities so our vital work can continue. Thousands of people in Chicago count on Catholic Charities every day. Please help us help them today. Learn more at CatholicCharities.net.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Archdiocese of Chicago presents programming about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago with today's special edition of Catholic Schools Today. Father Greg Sakowicz and Dr. Jim Rigg. Our phone number 312-255-8408. We are live streaming today for the first time ever, the special edition of Catholic Schools Today. And Dr. Jim Rigg, we're going to bring you in now for our segment versus the top of the show. And so what is happening in the Archdiocese on a school level that you want to share with us this morning?
Sure. Well, first of all, Father Greg, I hope you and I get to actually see each other again sometime. I missed our time in the studio together.
In fact, I'm actually sitting right now in your chair. That would be to the right of you. And the last time we were together doing a program, this program would have been the second Monday in March.
Correct.
Because that following Saturday was the shutdown.
Yep.
And every program we've done, April, May, June, July, August, September, today, has been with me in the studio and you at home. But that's the social distancing.
Yeah, well, we got to make sure that we're safe. And, the same is true of all of our Catholic schools as well. So we've now been in session in some schools for 2 months. And so far, things seem to have gone very well. So as you know, there is in place a number of health and safety requirements for our schools to safely provide in-person instruction. And in spite of a global pandemic that is ongoing, we really feel good about how things have gone in our schools. Our teachers, our principals, our staff members have done incredible work at implementing the health and safety protocols. Our students and families have understood them and are very supportive. And really, I cannot say enough about the great things happening in Catholic schools in spite of the circumstances.
Jim, I've had many people say to me back in August when there was talk of having the Catholic schools open, many people were saying, by early, mid-October, every Catholic school will be closed down. It's just not going to work. And so far, with the grace of God, I know there have been a few glitches along the way, but for the most part, it has been phenomenal and very well received. Am I right?
I completely agree with you. Things seem to be going well. And again, we did not want to throw caution in the wind, obviously. And so our health and safety plan integrates all of the guidance from the CDC and the IDPH and the Chicago Department of Public Health and others. And we vetted our plan with an independent team of epidemiologists to make sure that we could be assured of the ongoing safety of our students and families and staff. We have had a few cases of COVID in our schools, the vast majority of which involves people who were infected in their personal lives away from school. So people who, were infected through family relationships or social gatherings or things like that. And the good news about those cases, while it's concerning to have them happen, there have only been a few of them, and we've been able to respond very quickly to quarantine the impacted people and move forward. So we feel that our plan is working well.
I think it makes such a huge difference to be in school. Now, granted, there'll be social distancing, mask wearing, but just that social interaction. And I was talking to some of these children when they said to me, to be at home 6-8 hours a day in front of a computer learning, that is very, very difficult to do.
Yep. Oh, yeah, extremely difficult. So, I mean, I'm a obviously Catholic educator. I was a teacher. I was a principal, and I believe that the daily face-to-face interactions between a teacher and a student are absolutely central to our educational mission. Now, we do have some families, about 15% or so, that are learning all virtual. That is their decision, and that's okay. We've implemented a long-term virtual learning plan in each of our Catholic schools to help support families that are not yet ready to return back to face-to-face instruction. But most of our families wanted it. Most of our families are with us. And I've been in several of the Catholic schools, and there continues to just be a sense of joy that we are able to be a community together, physically together. It's so important, we feel, not just for the education, but for our religious mission and for our need to mutually support one another during challenging times.
Ironically, Jim, I've talked to a couple of eye doctors and eye specialists who have said there's been a tremendous rise in eye fatigue between the computer and the iPhone or cell phone, where the eyes are spending most of the day into the screen of a cell phone or computer. And so people are suffering double vision, a thing called vertical phoria, which means you see it's vertically double, but just the wear and tear in the eye. So it's interesting how, because of so much use of the computer, it's affecting us in different ways. For some people, not everybody.
Absolutely, and we need to be careful, especially with young brains, and children that are still developing.
And especially with that social gathering.
I do want to mention one thing here in reference to the reopening plan, just for listeners, to make you aware that we do have an effort happening right now to recognize the tremendous work of our Catholic school teachers and principals and staff members. It's called the #SchoolHero program. So we have a lot of heroes in our schools right now doing incredible work. And we are taking nominations for teachers, principals, and staff members that have done particularly special work to be recognized by the Archdiocese. So there's not a cap on the number of people that we're recognizing here. We just are taking nominations from anybody for anybody who is an employee in our schools.
How can they do that, Jim?
You can do that through our website, schools.archchicago.org. We just launched this last week and are starting to recognize people right now. So we have our first crop of people who have gone through the nomination process and are now being recognized. But we're just giving them some extra recognition and affirmation through social media, through our website, as another way of showing our support for our exceptional Catholic school employees.
I think to do kudos and a shout-out is a marvelous idea. We need to go to a break here on Catholic Schools Today on WNDZ. Father Greg Sacco is talking with Dr. Jim Riggle. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. And again, do not touch that dial.
More and more people around the world are interested in their family history. At Catholic Charities, we are hearing from adults who lived for a brief time at St. Vincent's Orphanage, the wonderful life-affirming agency that operated out of our headquarters for 91 years, serving thousands of women, children, and families until it closed in 1972. Our post-adoption services help adults who want to learn more about their experience at St. Vincent's. Our compassionate staff members provide whatever family background information they can offer, along with support and reunion services. To learn more, call 312-655-7093. That's 312-655-7093. The spirit of St. Vincent's lives on in the inspiring stories that continue to emerge today.
Have you checked out Chicago Catholic lately? Either in print or online, Chicago Catholic has informative and stimulating content, including news from the Archdiocese, beautiful photographs, and a thoughtful column by our publisher, Cardinal Blaise Cupich. Editor Joyce DeRiga tells us about our current edition of Chicago Catholic.
We have an overview of Pope Francis's new encyclical on fraternity and social friendship. Cardinal Cupich's column is also dedicated to it. The Archdiocese is urging everyone to get a flu shot this year. We share the details of the campaign, and we have coverage of the recent ordination of permanent deacons.
Subscribe now. Go to chicagocatholic.com or call 312-534-7777. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Chicago Catholic, a fresh approach to Catholic news.
Do you have a gently used laptop or desktop computer that is gathering dust in your home? Consider donating to our Catholic Charities Veterans Computer Project. We will clean out your device, give it new software, and repurpose it for a veteran who is looking for employment. Your gift will make an incredible difference in a veteran's ability to find a job. Catholic Charities provides veteran services throughout Lake and suburban Cook counties, giving participants an array of professional and personal support. Our veterans have served our country, and it is our privilege to serve them. To learn more about Catholic Charities Veterans Services and the Veterans Computer Project, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago, today's special edition of Catholic Schools Today on WNDZ 750 AM. Father Greg Sachs and Dr. Jim Rigg. And Jim, I will let you introduce our next wonderful guest here on the program.
Happy to do so. Thank you, Father Greg. So before the break, we were talking quite a bit about COVID and kind of recognition, such as our school hero effort. Amidst all of this, we were delighted to learn recently that 8 Catholic schools within the Archdiocese were recognized this year by the U.S. Department of Education with Blue Ribbon Awards. And only the best of schools in our country are recognized with this prestigious award. And to have 8 within the same diocese may be unprecedented. We're still trying to find that out. And the Archdiocese, I don't know if you know this, Father Greg, has won more Blue Ribbon Awards than any other school system, public or private, in the country. We've won over 110 in our history, so that's absolutely tremendous.
So Chicago ranks number 1.
As far as we know, yes, and it reflects, I think, the great quality of education found within our schools. So I'd like to acknowledge each of the Blue Ribbon Award winners: St. Andrew's School, St. Clement, St. Francis Xavier in LaGrange, St. John of the Cross, St. Paul of the Cross in Park Ridge, the School of St. Mary in Lake Forest, Woodlands Academy of the Sacred Heart, which is an independent high school, and St. James School in Arlington Heights. And we're delighted to have on the phone with us the principal of St. James School, Mr. Mike Kendrick. Mike, are you there?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Happy to be on the show with you this morning.
Good morning, Mike. Congratulations to the school to be an award winner. That is very prestigious.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are incredibly proud of the award, and it's as I like to say to the kids on the way in, it's a great day to be a Bulldog. So, we're super excited and proud, and know that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
But now this is your second Blue Ribbon at the school. I think you won the first one back in 2008.
That is correct.
It's amazing. Now they tell me that to even apply for the Blue Ribbon, it is so time-consuming, so detailed. I've been told that when you do this whole presentation, this document to the board, if you have one comma or period or apostrophe misplaced, out of place, word misspelled, the whole thing is rejected and put back into your face.
Yeah, so we go through quite a few rounds of edits, and for me, myself, I'm a math guy, so grammar was never my strong suit, so I made sure to have many people review the document and make sure that the numbers were correct. But, application was long and lengthy, but it was super easy to write because not easy in the fact of the length, but in the fact of there's so many great things happening at St. James. Our academics are strong. Building students' character and moral aptitude is strong, and most importantly, the lively culture and faith development that we have, and truly bringing students closer to Christ. It was easy to plenty of content for us to cover in those long pages that we put together.
And Mike, I know that you had a virtual celebration already with your community. So tell us a little bit about how that ceremony went and kind of how people have responded in general to the Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously in our day and age at the moment, and in these kind of strange times, ordinarily I would have scheduled a big pep rally in the gym and, had a big celebration together. But obviously we need to follow our safety protocols that the Archdiocese has set out for us to keep our kids safe and to keep our in-person learning flowing. So what we did instead is we did a virtual pep rally, and up to the point of the actual announcement and celebration, I was able to keep it relatively secret. I think probably less than 1% of the population knew the award was coming, which was great. So we got all the kids on a Zoom call, and we had some announcements and some things that we wanted to tell them about. And then I turned my camera, and behind me was a banner of our 2008 award, and I explained to the students what it was and what it meant. And I took a big 2020 sticker and slapped it right on top of the 2008, and I started going crazy in the office because I was excited, and I think most of the classrooms started jumping around and getting pretty excited too. So after the big announcement, we played a all-school Kahoot game, which if you're not familiar with Kahoot, it's essentially like a trivia game show. So I made like a trivia for the kids. They played that, and then as they exited the building, we had music blasting, and the kids all got these signs that said, we did it, or we found a way, or great day to be a Bulldog, and they were their parents were out there clapping for them on the way out. So it was we had to get creative on the celebration aspect of it, but we were really happy and excited that we were able to still celebrate, even though it wasn't the normal way to do things.
Now, Mike, when did you have this virtual pep rally? How many weeks ago?
This was on the date that it was announced, so I believe this was about 2 weeks ago or so.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a great idea, very creative, and to slap a 2020 over the 2008, and the place then went crazy.
Yeah, it did, and it was really fun. And the nice thing about the Kahoot game is that all the kids could play. We have one-to-one iPad devices throughout the school, so everybody who was here was able to jump on. And even our remote learners who are home for whatever various reasons that they're there could even jump on too, and they were able to watch the Zoom and do the Kahoot and participate just like all the students in the building.
Now, a question I ask every principal coming into this school year. It was so different because of the pandemic, and I'm sure that you spent long hours with your faculty and staff to get the doors open back in August. So maybe say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't talk enough about how fantastic our teaching staff has done with not only implementing the new guidelines, but also coming up with super creative ways of educating kids within those restrictions, and really being creative and coming up with new ideas and utilizing technology as a way to check the students' understanding and to continue to build that. And, we have a mantra here at St. James that kind of embodies what our teachers were able to do transitioning from the summer to the school year, and that mantra is find a way. And when we say find a way, what we're saying is that we will stop at nothing to do what is best for the kids and focus on overcoming any hurdle or any challenge that comes in our way, because we know that when we invest in our kids, that's living out our mission and living out the mission that Christ has put in front of us of, taking these young, children and making them to young men and women who are filled with faith and intellect that can go out and do good in the world. So our teachers have embraced that find a way mentality and have just been doing excellent work. A lot of them we asked to be on the academics team, that one of the two task force that we were put together over the summer. And then when they came back for professional development, we actually added more sessions. So the teachers have put in more time and more hours, but it's been paying off. And the product is the or the byproduct of that is students that are learning, academics that are continuing to flow in a safe environment, and families that are feeling satisfied that their kids are getting not only a great education but the formation that they seek in Catholic schools.
That's true. We're going to go to break here on WNDZ 750 AM with Catholic Schools Today. We're speaking with Mike Kendrick, who is the principal of St. James in Arlington Heights. And our phone number 312-255-8408. Stay with us and do not touch that dial.
Hey parents, have we got a great idea for you? While your kids are adjusting to being back in school, they can also help brighten the day for one of the thousands of our senior clients. Invite your kids to write a short letter or a poem or make a drawing or tell a few jokes on paper. Then all they need to do is put it in an envelope, add a stamp, and address it to Catholic Home Care Senior Surprise, 2601 West Marquette Road, Chicago, Illinois, 60629. That's Catholic Home Care Senior Surprise, 2601 West Marquette Road, Chicago, Illinois, 60629. These letters will mean so much to the seniors who open them, and your child will have that wonderful feeling inside that comes when you reach out in kindness to someone else. Thank you from everyone at Catholic Charities.
You're invited to Keep Hope Alive 2020, the online benefit and celebration of the Archdiocese of Chicago's Immigration Ministry and their nationwide program, Pastoral Migratoria. Join us virtually on the evening of Thursday, October 29th, for a night filled with music, camaraderie, and inspiring speakers. Cardinal Blaise Supich and Sister Norma Pimentel of Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, who was recently recognized as one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people, will be joining us to help keep hope alive. Now, more than ever, the immigrant community, both here in the Archdiocese of Chicago and across the United States, needs the leadership formation and accompaniment that Pastoral Migratoria provides. Registration is free, and sponsorship and advertising opportunities are available. Visit www.keephopealive2020.org for more information and to register. Again, that's www.keephopealive2020.org.
Catholic Charities Divine Affair home tasting parties are going virtual. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Divine Affair, the elegant wine tasting event that benefits our self-sufficiency programs. Low-income single parents with dependent children are trying to break the cycle of welfare and poverty. Today, the need is greater than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic has left thousands of newly struggling families in need of immediate assistance. You can easily coordinate a virtual wine tasting and help Catholic Charities at the same time. Each guest will enjoy a sample wine kit that includes wine and a guide, all courtesy of Louis Glenn's Wines. You can gather your friends and family for this fun event or incorporate a celebration for a birthday, anniversary, or engagement at the same time. To learn more about a virtual home tasting party and how you and your guests can win fabulous raffle prizes, call today at 773-756-6937. That's 773-756-6937. Cheers!
Welcome back to Catholic Schools Today, a special edition of Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Father Greg Sakowitz and Dr. Jim Rigger were speaking with Mike Kendrick, who is the principal of St. James School in Arlington Heights. And Jim, which, by the way, we are live streaming, record in the making today. First time ever, Catholic Schools Today, live streaming here on WNDZ. So, Jim, take it away.
Happy to. So, Mike, before the break, we were talking a bit about how the school has done in spite of all of the COVID-related health and safety requirements, and just the exceptional work that you and your staff are doing there at St. James. You also talk a little bit about your school's commitment to helping each child grow closer to Christ. So I know one of the things that you've had to adjust this year are masses, our school's masses. And one of the things you've done recently are rosary masses with the kids. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we, like you said, we have these guidelines we have in place, and those include the church as well. So we weren't able to fit our entire student body in there. So they rotate for masses. Usually about a quarter of the students are in the church and everybody else is streaming. But we also have various groups, like you said, like the Rosary group. We have a children's Rosary group that once a week says a rosary after school, and they're able to go into the church and space themselves out. And then if there's, something else, they've also done these rosaries via Zoom in the past as well, which is fantastic. Being able to teach kids, various forms of prayer is such a lifelong tool for them to take with them, and when they truly understand the mysteries that they're praying and what the rosary itself, represents, and it's just such a powerful thing, and we just see kids keep coming back, and one of the beautiful things is when somebody in our community is suffering or somebody is going through a hard time, it is like, snap your fingers and we got a rosary going for those families or those people who need it most. So it's been, there's silver linings that come out of these times right now, and one of them is, teaching students how to pray in various forms and getting them to diversify their praying portfolio.
Ways. In just the last minute, Mike, tell us about the Encounter Nights on Tuesday nights in October.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are at the St. James Parish and School are kind of co-sponsoring these encounter nights where it's a variation, or it's a way for students and families to get together to pray together, and it's a mixture of adoration and benediction, praise and worship music, some other forms of prayer as well, and some silent meditation, and it's a really great way for parents to connect with their kids in a different way than they may do on a regular basis, and for kids to learn, what it means to be in the presence of Christ and how to pray, and it's just another wonderful opportunity that St. James, Parish puts together.
And maybe just in the last minute, because we're running out of time here, give us a phone number and web to learn more about St. James School in Arlington Heights, which is a fantastic school.
Absolutely. The number here is 224-345-7145.
That number once again?
224-345-7145.
And the web?
It is stjamesschoolah.org.
One more time.
stjamesschoolah.org.
And Jim, maybe you can squeeze in one last quick question.
Well, I want to know the name of the Bulldog mascot. So you've talked about this being a great day for a Bulldog, but you actually have named the mascot. Is that correct?
Well, so we are in the process. So nominations were due on Friday. So this week we're putting together the voting polls, making sure we don't have to check ballots twice, and we will be naming that Bulldog. But there's definitely some good. I've gotten a peek at the nomination names, and there's some good ones out there.
What
so
about
hopefully
the name?
we'll have more news for you.
Kumquat.
Well, that would be
there, Father. But I'm going to suggest the name Greg Sackwitz.
How about Jim Rigg? And those are our nominations. We need to bring it to a close. I want to thank in a very special way Mike Kendrick, who is the principal of St. James School in Arlington Heights. Mike, thank you very much for being a guest. You've done a great job. Keep up the great work there. Special thanks also to co-host Dr. Jim Rigg, Superintendent of Catholic Schools in the Archdiocese. Jim, always great talking with you, and God bless and keep up your great work. And great work of our producer today, Jasmine Kiddos, and our engineers, Michael May and Brian Hockey, Hitman Brock. To all, God bless, have a blessed week, and stay safe.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.